mark. And keep in mind, Brady has just played in 10 games with his new team and told us this weekend that he doesn't believe the offense is even operating at its highest level just yet. And Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald and the rest of LA's defense is going to try to keep Tampa's offense from making any progress tonight. Brady and Donald have faced each other just twice in their careers, including Super Bowl 53. And though Donald has yet to sack the GOAT, Brady said about Donald this weekend, there's only one like him, as dominant as anyone who has ever played the position. Laura?
Yeah, Aaron Donald hadn't sacked Nick Foles before this season, and then he did this year. Also, the NFL making some history tonight, assembling the first all-black officiating crew to work Monday Night Football, led by crew chief Jerome Boger. The NFL citing the opportunity to recognize the league's history and recent practices in diversifying its officiating department. Let's bring Adam Schefter back in for some quarterback news around the league, beginning with the Tua Tagovailoa situation in Miami. What more can you tell us, Adam?
Laura, after the game yesterday, Dolphins head coach Brian Flores said he's going to stick with Tua this week against the New York Jets. He went to Ryan Fitzpatrick to try to give the team a spark in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game to see if the Dolphins could rally. It didn't happen, but Tua, according to Flores, will go back to the starting lineup, and Fitzpatrick will return to the bench for the time being. Doug Peterson, Eagles head coach, similar message on Carson Wentz. The Eagles are sticking with him as the starting quarterback. The fact that we're even talking about whether to stick with Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback tells you the problems that exist in Philadelphia right now. But keep in mind, they still are, as hard as this is to believe, in first place. Also today, Bears head coach Matt Nagy said he's not ready to name a starter for Sunday's game against the Green Bay Packers. Nick Foles is coming off an injury, the hip injury. Mitchell Trubisky's coming off the shoulder injury. And lastly, in the last bit of news today, the Ravens running backs, J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, both tested positive for COVID. Both are being placed on the reserve COVID-19 list, and both are out for Thursday night's game at Pittsburgh against the Steelers.
Yeah, those 10-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, not the game where you want to have players out. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Adam Schefter with us all show long, getting ready for Monday Night Countdown as well right here on ESPN at 6 p.m. The Colts showed their fighting spirit with their comeback win against the Packers yesterday. Mina, what stood out to you?
The play of Phillip Rivers. I mean, the Colts have won a lot of games this year because of their defense, but don't get this wrong. They won this game because of Phillip Rivers. This is the sort of performance they were hoping for when they signed him in free agency. It was a gutty performance. He played through a toe injury and, more importantly, didn't put the ball in harm's way too much at the end. We call him Peanut Butter Rivers around here. Yeah.
And listen, and for me, it was about the second half of the Green Bay Packers offense. They were bad, real bad. Michael Jackson, and they couldn't get anything started. 2 3-and-outs in the third quarter. They didn't score till late in the game because they didn't get a middle runner in cover 2 for the Indianapolis Colts. They have to be better. They have to be more creative. And when Aaron Jones is shut down, Aaron Rodgers needs to show up.
Well, let me throw some love to the linebackers for the Colts. 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. You only got 5 in protection for the Packers, right? That defensive end is going to peel on the back. Darius Leonard. Watch the burst he has coming through this line of scrimmage, untouched, get you off the field on 3rd and 1. This is my favorite play, though, 4th and 1. Watch Bobby Okereke. This is teach tape. Don't get picked, sit on the inside hip at the back, and force Aaron Rodgers to make a one in a million, once in a lifetime type of throw. Both those guys make huge plays to get off the field in the second half against that Packers offense.
Teach tape of music right there. And Ryan Clark and Mina Kimes here. Adam Schefter will be joining us momentarily. And of course, a report from Tampa Bay just ahead of tonight's game is coming your way in minutes. But we get you to some breaking news right now. And this one, gut-wrenching, for lack of a better way to put it. Bengals rookie quarterback Joe Burrow, #1 overall pick, has a torn ACL, MCL, and other structural issues in his knee, according to ESPN's Ben Baby and Adam Schefter. More damage than was initially anticipated, and heartbreaking for those who have loved watching him play this year. Here's his coach, Zach Taylor, with more.
He's been in great spirits on the bus, on the plane, in the facility today. He's responded as well as he could possibly do it, and we've all noticed that. He was a tremendous leader for us, and he gave us a lot of energy, the way that he led the unit. And so, I can't be a robot coach and say that we're not going to be missing that, because we will. I'm expecting to make a full recovery and ready for the 2021 season.
It's important to note that Taylor would not clarify whether he meant the start of the 2021 season or just at some point during the season. We bring in Adam Schefter now. What more do we know, Adam, about the injury at this point?
Well, this was a worst-case scenario, Laura, for the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, and the National Football League. Basically, he tore his ACL, he tore his MCL. He did suffer other damage to that knee that I do believe includes his PCL and the meniscus in his knee. He's going to undergo reconstructive knee surgery. And the general timeline for injuries of this sort are 9 to 12 months. So just do the math. Now, again, everybody's different. Everybody heals differently and recovers from surgery differently and rehabs differently. But a best case scenario for Joe Burrow, best case, would be 9 months. So do the math. More likely, it's going to be longer than that. And the Bengals are going to have to be very careful with Joe Burrow moving forward. At the very least, Joe Burrow's status for the 2021 season, the start of that season, is absolutely in question. And we'll see when he can make it back during the season next year. But this was the worst case scenario for the Cincinnati Bengals. The MRI came back worse than what was anticipated.
Just so tough to hear. More from Adam Schefter throughout this show. And we will have Stefania Bell joining us as well for more of a medical update on this. But Dan, you're cringing even as Schefter was delivering that news. What ran through your mind when you saw this?
It's gut-wrenching. You feel terrible. It makes me feel the same way I felt when I saw Dak Prescott get hurt. Like, you're just at a loss for words and your thoughts and prayers go out to him. But then you just hope that Joe Burrow can get back healthy, but my brain immediately goes to 2022. It doesn't go to 2021. Like, yes, technically maybe he'll be able to come back and play next season. But what kind of shape is he going to be in, or how healthy is he going to play at that level or be able to play at level? And then also, one of the things that makes Joe Burrow special is the instincts, is the reaction, is the athlete that he actually is, especially in that small space that he plays in. How is that going to impact that? Like, how is this injury going to impact his superpower, which is those instincts and reactions? And so it's awful. I feel terrible. Just hope and pray that he can come back to full strength.
You know,